5 friends, Paritosh, Nasreen, Damian, Harsimran, and Ali went to buy some household items. The area chart given below shows the data for the total amount of money spent in rupees on all the items, excluding the most expensive item for each of the 5 friends. So if we look at Paritosh, he spent 35,000 rupees, which is nothing but 85% and 90% ke beech mein. So this should be 87.5%. Right? So we can say that the total amount of money spent on all the items, excluding the most expensive, is 35,000. And that 35,000 amount is 87.5%. Similarly, for Nasreen, the same calculation will yield, this is 80%. Yes, this is 80%. For Damian, this is going to be, this is little difficult. So you'll have to use your rough sheet and place it on the screen to find out what percentage they denote. So this is 75%. 42,000, this doesn't look a lot low, but we can go for Harsimran and try to find out where it is going to land up. Okay, this is going a little low. So if we follow this line, okay, this looks like somewhere between 65 and 70, but 42 is in the table of 7, right? So let's take this as 70% to make the calculation easier. And this is 9,000. So 55% is over here, 60% is over here. This is definitely more than 55. So say this is 60%. Okay, for each of the 5 friends, percentage of total money spent on all the items, excluding the most expensive item, is equal to total money spent without the most expensive item, whole divided by total amount of money spent without the most expensive item plus money spent on the most expensive item. So this is more like total money spent into 100. So this is the percentage, right? Okay. We do have 4 more additional statements. It's given that the highest point denoted by the red dot is the percentage of total money spent on all the items, excluding the most expensive item for a friend, which is a multiple of 2.5%. So we can't take 87. We will have to take 87.5, which anyways we took. The cost of all the items bought and the average cost per item bought by the 5 friends is a multiple of 1,000. Fine. So the amount is not in hundreds. The cost of the most expensive item for all the friends was higher than that for all the other items. As in, the most expensive item was obviously the most expensive item. So this statement means nobody bought 2 items which were equally expensive among the most expensive. 4th statement says there were no items that were received free of cost by anyone. So everybody paid for something. Now, let's draw a table where we will put in let's say the first column as the friend's name and the total money that they have spent from the given area graph. Then the next column to be the percentage values. And this will help us figure out the cost of the most expensive item, and which will also help us figure out what is the total money that they have spent. So these are the values that we are already given. So percentage for Paritosh was 85%, and that for Nasreen was 80%. For Damian, it was 75%. For Harsimran, 70%. And for Ali, it was 60%. Now, cost of most expensive item. So 85% is equivalent to 35,000. Sorry, this is not 85, it was 87.5, right? So if 87.5% corresponds to 35,000, what would be the remaining 12.5% going to correspond to? So this is going to be 5,000. So the total money spent by Paritosh is 35,000 plus 5,000, which is 40,000. If 80% corresponds to 20,000, so the remaining item, which is the expensive one, that is 20% of the total money, right? So how much will that give us? If 80% is 20,000, so 20% is going to be another 5,000. If 75% gives us 60,000, so remaining 25% will give us 1/3 of it. So that is going to be 20,000. For her Simran, 70% is 42,000. So the multiplier is 6. So remaining 30% will be 30 into 6, which is going to be 18,000. And 60% corresponds to 9,000 for Ali. So that is 1.5 times. So 40 ka 1.5 times is 6. So this is going to end in 6,000. So Ali spent a total of 9,000 plus 6,000, 15,000 rupees. Out of that 15,000 rupees, he spent 6,000 just alone on one item, which is the most expensive for him. Similarly, Har Simran spent 42,000 plus 18,000, which is 60,000 money, out of which 18,000 was spent just on one item, which was the most expensive, and so on and so forth. Now, if we want to calculate number of items bought, and we know that the cost of each of the items, other than the most expensive item bought, it should be in the table of 1,000 as well. Well, the cost of the expensive, these are also in the table of 1,000. Then the most expensive item bought by the 5 friends, right? So how many items are they going to buy? So we know that 35,000 we have. And if we divide it by 4,000 and then add 1 to this, because we have one expensive item, so this is going to give us 9.75. So number of items bought is going to be more than 9.75, as in it's going to be at least 10. So we will write greater than equal to 10. Similarly, for Nasreen, the total money that Nasreen has spent is 20,000. Let's divide it by 4,000 and add 1 to it. So this is going to be 5 plus 1, 6. So this should be at least 6. For Damian, it's 60,000. And if we divide it by 19,000 and then add 1, this is going to be 4 point something. So it's going to be at least 5. For Har Simran, it's 42,000 spent divided by 17,000. So, and add 1. So this is going to be 17 into 2 is 34. So 2 point something plus 1, this is 3 point something. So this is going to be at least 4 items. And for Ali, it's 9,000 for him. And that's divided by 5,000. So add 1 to it. So 9,000 by 5,000 is 1 point something plus 1. This is 2 point something. Definitely it's going to be at least 3. So let's solve the questions now. What could be the sum of the least possible number of items bought by the 5 friends? So we can see that Paritosh must have bought at least 10 items, Nasreen at least 6, Damian at least 5, Har Simran at least 4, Ali at least 3. So if we add this, this is going to be a total of 28. So minimum 28 items they must have bought. Let's move to the next question. What is the difference between the costs of the most expensive item bought by Har Simran? So Har Simran bought the most expensive item, which is 18,000. That's the price. And the most expensive item bought by Ali, the most expensive item bought by Ali is 6,000. So the difference between them is going to be 12,000. Option B. If the least possible number of items were bought by 5 friends, so we're talking about the least number of items that we just saw, what is the least possible cost of the second most expensive item bought by Har Simran? It is known that the cost of all the items bought by Har Simran was different. So if we look at Har Simran has to spend a total of 42,000 rupees in order to buy 4 items. And we want these 4 items to be different. And we also need to figure out which is the second, as in the least possible cost of the second most expensive item. Now for this, the cost of the second most expensive item would be the least possible when the prices would be 1,000 more and 1,000 less than the average cost of the three items. As in, if I take average cost of these three items as 42,000 divided by 1,000, sorry, 42,000 divided by 4, we are going to have 42, and the next ones are going to be 3,000, 13, 3. So actually this 42,000 is, it's excluding the costliest. So actually we have to divide 42,000 into only 3 parts, because that at least four items is including the costliest item. We already know that the costliest item bought by Harsimran is just one item, right? So we have 3 more. So let's divide 42,000 into 3 equal parts. Each part is going to be 14,000, right? Now they can't be the same values, and they should always differ by 1,000. So let's reduce one by 1,000 rupees and reduce the other one by 1,000, increase it by 1,000 rupees. So 13,000, 14,000, and 15,000, these are the cost of the 3 items, such that the sum is 42,000. So the cost of the 2 least expensive item is 27,000, right? So the minimum possible cost for the second most expensive item bought by Harsimran is going to be 42,000 minus 27,000, which is going to result in 15,000. So you have to type in 15,000, right? Because total cost is 42,000. If you get rid of the 2 least expensive, then you get the most expensive among the 3. But remember, this is the most expensive among the 3. 18,000 is already the most expensive one. This is the second most expensive, right? So we can see 15,000, or you can take the total and subtract the sum of the least 2 expensive items, the sum of their cost. It's the same thing. Question number 20. What is the maximum possible number of items Nasreen could have bought? So if you look at Nasreen has spent 20,000 in order to buy 5 items, because the 6th item is the costliest one. We already know about that. And the costliest item is 5,000 is the cost for this. So the maximum value that Nasreen can take is going to be 4,000, right? The maximum. But if you want the maximum possible number of items that Nasreen could have bought, it could be even more. Well, this will only make sense if every item is going to cost just 1,000 rupees. Then only we will maximize the number of items bought. So if it is going to be that 20,000 rupees Nasreen must have spent in order to buy items of 1,000 rupees cost, so Nasreen must have definitely bought 20 items out of these 20,000. And we do have the most expensive one as well. So the maximum number of items Nasreen could have bought should be 21 items. So you were supposed to type in 21.